Now, what will become of the Democratic Republic of Congo is still very unclear, and the European Commission foreign ministers are to meet to decide and discuss the situation in the country after requests from several concerned countries, including Congo's former colonial master, Belgium. Now, this past Tuesday, the EU ambassadors agreed at a meeting that foreign ministers will discuss the situation on October 17th. Already the Belgian Foreign Ministry on Wednesday said that it had reduced the visa duration for Congolese officials holding diplomatic passport by half.
Meanwhile, in Paris, the French Foreign Affairs Minister called on the European Union to use all means, including that of sanctions, to prevent the political situation in the DRC from worsening. Last week, Washington adopted financial sanctions against two senior military officials close to President Joseph Kabila, that is Major General Gabriel Amisi Kumba, commander of the FARDC of the First Zone of Defense of the country, and General John Numbi, a former inspector of the National Police. The international community seems to be taking tough actions. We head to Strasbourg in France, where the European Parliament has begun discussing on the situation in DRC. Cécile Kienge is a member of the Parliament and she joins us now. Thanks for accepting our call. What triggered the Parliament to have these discussions?
Oui, la discussion, comme vous savez, c'était suite, disons, aux violences qu'il y a eu le 19 et le 20 septembre.
As you know, this follows the violence of the 19th of September and the 20th of September as well. After that, the Electoral Commission announced the date of elections because everyone was waiting for it. There was violence, and based on that, the European Parliament called for urgent discussions, but there was no resolution. It had to go in a certain direction, a bit towards the United States, but I believe that Belgium took a very strong position yesterday, a position I fully share and support. And at some point, we must stop and we must begin to act. On that, I understand the issues on which we must insist on targeting with sanctions, demanding justice for all those responsible for the massacres, to seek justice for all those who currently have distinguished themselves in standing up for the freedom of expression, press freedom, freedom to demonstrate.
J'ai quand même fait comprendre les points sur lesquels on doit insister en partant par des sanctions ciblées, en demandant une justice pour toutes les, disons une justice pour tous les responsables des massacres, une justice aussi pour disons, emmener en justice toutes les personnes qui, en ce moment, se sont distinguées en barrant la liberté d'expression, la liberté de presse, la liberté de manifestation.
And also justice and not impunity for those who deprive the DRC of a real political national dialogue, inclusive and transparent in respect of institutional framework. So many members are in favor of this. So how would you react to President Joseph Kabila's accusations, saying that it's interference by Western powers?
Moi, je crois que en ce moment,
I think that right now we cannot really speak about interference. That is to say, there are institutions, norms, articles which bind different countries at the regional and international level. It's within this framework that all institutions, including the European community and the international community, can react to this text. I think that at this moment, the DRC is using a strategy because I see that there are many countries in Africa using this strategy publicly through the media, who must know that there is a showdown that is going on in favor of the DRC.
D'aller vers, disons, en faveur de la RDC quand on sait
we know that there are still actions that can be put in place that can have impact on the DRC. But I stress the fact that we must not penalize the public, but rather those responsible for all this. Those responsible for the massacres which have deprived the DRC from holding elections and all that is supposed to be followed. They must realize that at some point that the country expects this: political stability, peace, And then, above all, in the Great Lakes region, a country like the DRC should try to maintain peace for the sake of its neighbors.
Le pays n'attend que ça, une stabilité politique, un pays là où il peut vivre en paix, et surtout dans toute la région des Grands Lacs, un grand pays comme la RDC devrait normalement essayer de maintenir la paix, mais aussi au profit de tous les autres de ses voisins.
Cécile Kyenge is a member of the European Parliament. She was talking to us from Strasbourg. Now we'll be right back with a look at